Good evening and welcome to the monthly Board of Education meeting for Elizabeth City-Pasquotank Public Schools. ECPPS is a progressive public school district committed to reimagining education so that all students are given choices to discover and explore their hopes and dreams. And now to begin the meeting, Board of Education Chairperson Angela Cobb.
I motion to accept the superintendent's report and recommendation for personnel as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the superintendent's report and recommendations during closed session as presented. Can I see a positive vote by show of hands? Ms. Parker, let the record reflect the vote is unanimous. And with that, we return to open session. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Education meeting for November 25th, 2024. At this time, would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Ms. Parker, can you start us off this evening with a roll call, please? Here.
Vice Chair Pereza. Here. Dr. Sheila Williams.
Present.
Tommy Old.
Here.
Valerie Bogues.
Here.
Sharon Warden.
Present.
Brandon Moore. Erica Moore. And Ruby Nunez Anaya.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. At this time, Mr. Old, will you read our ethics awareness statement? Thank you.
Welcome to November 25th, 24 meeting of the Elizabeth City-Pasquotank Board of Education. It is my duty to remind members of the board that it is your responsibility to avoid all conflicts of interest and potential conflicts of interest in accordance with Chapter 138A of North Carolina General Statutes. As public servants, it is your duty to continually monitor, evaluate, and manage your personal, financial, and professional affairs in such a way as to ensure the absence of conflicts or potential conflicts. Does any member know of any conflict of interest or potential conflict of interest with respect to any matter coming before the board today? If there are no conflicts identified, let the record reflect that no conflicts exist.
Thank you, Mr. Old. Next, we need to have a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda for November 25th, 2024 as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Pereza. We have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. We have a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda. Please show a positive vote by show of hands. Let the record reflect this is a unanimous positive vote. At this time, I'm going to turn the program over to Dr. Parker for our recognitions for this evening.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening to everybody. We got a full house tonight, so it's good to see all of our staff, students, and community partners that are out here and families this evening to sharing some of these recognitions. This is moving into one portion of the meeting that we all love, and that's showing some recognition on our incredible community here of ECPS family. So we want to start out by recognizing two individuals that mean a lot to our school system, and so I want to share a couple of things about Andy and Karen Montero, who are here with us tonight. And last week on Thursday, Andy and Karen were recognized by the United Way, the Albemarle United Way, for being recipients of the United Way's Kill Club annual award. And so this award is given annually to a community partner that has demonstrated really unparalleled philanthropy and giving in the community. And Andy and Karen were this year's recipients. And so some of us had the opportunity to join with them last week, but we wanted to invite Andy and Karen here tonight to recognize them as well, as being members of the ECPPS family. And Andy currently serves as the chairperson of our Education Foundation Board. And I found this out the other night, which I think this is a sort of a Hall of Fame piece here, but I found out that Karen led the Central Elementary School PTA for 11 years. And so that is some dedication right there to support Central Elementary for that. But aside from giving throughout the community, I found out the other night that philanthropy and giving back is a part of the Montero family DNA. And Andy's father, a medical doctor, founded a clinic in Chesapeake in '92 to give back to the community and to really instill this idea of service. And so that legacy lives on with Andy and Karen right here in Elizabeth City. One thing that I will highlight is about a decade ago when the Safe Schools Initiative really became a really important priority across the nation, and we were working in Elizabeth City, as many school districts were across the country, are trying to install safety mechanisms, cameras, electronic door locks in our school system. Andy and Karen took it on themselves to raise money, and through their work and their initiatives across the community, they raised over $300,000 to support our schools to provide magnetic locks, cameras, and also cameras on all of our ECPPS buses at the time. And so that level of support and dedication is something that we're just thankful for. So tonight, if you would join me in congratulating Andy and Karen Montero. And we would like to take a photograph. So Andy and Karen and the Foundation Board, if y'all like to come right over here, we'd like to ask the Board of Education along with student board members if we could just come right over here. We'll stand in this area right here in the middle and we'll grab a photograph and Caroline will get that. And we also want to thank our Education Foundation Board for joining us here this evening. And Ms. Judy Stallings will echo this. If anybody is not a member of our foundation, we'd love to have you sign up tonight. So you can see Ms. Judy, and she will tell you how you can support our classrooms and teachers. So thank you all for coming back. I tell you, one of the things that comes across, you can walk anywhere in Elizabeth City and you will find people all over the city that give back to our community. And you can really understand why they call this place the Harbor of Hospitality. And so, you know, we're very blessed and thankful here to have people that really care about our community. So thank you all for joining us this evening. And Andy and Karen, thank you again. We're going to jump into some other recognitions tonight, and we'd like to ask Ms. Candy Tilley to come forward and to recognize Miss Amy Bundy, who's going to receive a recognition tonight. So we'll ask Candy to introduce Amy.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. Good evening, Vice Chair Pereza, and other distinguished board members. I'm honored to stand before you tonight representing not only the ECPPS finance team and Board Chair Cobb. I apologize, I didn't see you standing over there. I was looking for you in your chair and I thought, well, she's left. Anyway, I am honored to stand before you tonight as not only representing the ECPPS finance team, but also NC ASBO to recognize Miss Amy Bundy. The North Carolina Association of School Business Officials, better known as NC ASBO, offers certification through their School Business Management Academy. There are 3 levels: specialist, which is typically for staff members in the central office; manager, which is for central office supervisors or others that are aspiring to be a supervisor at the central office level; and director, which are typically CFOs and assistant finance officers. Obtaining any one of these certifications requires commitment and dedication due to the amount of time that you're out of the office. As part of the coursework, tests are given which you must pass to be certified. While this certification may not mean much to the average person, the school finance community, these certifications are revered and the professional relationships built during this time are invaluable. Amy Bundy began classes in the Specialist Academy in March of this year. The instructor saw the ambition and drive that Amy Bundy possesses, and if you've worked with her for any amount of time, you know what I'm talking about. So they asked her if she would be willing to add 5 additional classes to graduate as a manager. And Amy came to me and asked, would I support that? And of course I said yes. So she graduated at the beginning of this month as a certified school business manager. Please join me in congratulating Amy Bundy.
She used to be a secretary when I was at Central. She was a front office lady. I'll get her now.
I can't believe our mic isn't on again.
I don't know. Hopefully you let them come in now. But you gotta still go to the bathroom.
And we also have here tonight 2 schools that we're going to recognize. We have Elizabeth City Middle School here and Pasquotank County High School, and we have some staff and students that we want to recognize. So we're going to start with ECMS and like to ask Assistant Principal Ms. Kobe to come forward and introduce some staff and students that are going to be recognized. So let's welcome Ms. Kobe and the ECMS staff as they come forward. And followed by this, then we'll ask Principal Moore and her team to come forward and recognize Pasquotank County High School.
Good evening, Chair Cobb, Vice Chair Pereza, board members, Superintendent Dr. Parker, and the entire ECPPS community. My name is Lakeisha Kobe, and I'm the Assistant Principal at Elizabeth City Middle School. I stand here before you in the absence of Mrs. Bell, who could not be here tonight. Tonight, I have the pleasure and the honor of recognizing a select group of students and staff for the commitment to the Hive. I will start with our staff. We have the absolute best staff in the entire district. We are truly a family at Elizabeth City Middle School, and I'm honored to be the assistant principal there. First, I would like to recognize Mr. Michael Polite. Mr. Polite is our beginning teacher of the year and the district beginning teacher of the year. This is his 2nd year at the Hive teaching CTE. He also teaches IB design. As a beginning teacher, he is always eager to learn and improve instructionally. He is always willing to fill in whenever and wherever he is needed. We thank you, Mr. Polite, for your commitment to the Hive. Picture. Picture.
See there.
The next teacher I would like to recognize is Mr. Christopher Wilder. Mr. Wilder is our 2024 School Level Teacher of the Year. Mr. Wilder has served at ECMS for several years as a social studies teacher. Mr. Wilder encourages all his students to be successful daily. He is a role model and has made a positive impact with our IB implementation. Thank you, Mr. Wilder, for your accomplishments at the high. All right. Next, I would like to recognize two teachers that exceeded growth for the 2023-24 school year. The first is Mrs. Elizabeth Elliott. Mrs. Elliott, who is a second-year ELA teacher, has exceeded growth and the expectations of the highest in the school of ELA. Thank you, Mrs. Elliott, for your commitment to the high. And the last teacher is Mrs. Koza Blunt, who is a 20-year dedicated Yellow Jacket. Mrs. Blunt exceeded growth expectations for science EOG and also had the highest growth in the school. Thank you, Mrs. Blunt, for your commitment to the Hive. All right, there we go.
Elizabeth City Middle School is blessed to have the best student body. Our students work hard every day to achieve academic excellence. We have seen tremendous growth in all of our students behaviorally, academically, and socially so far this school year. Tonight, we want to recognize two groups of students. These are our students showing excellence in the IB Learner Profile Communication and the Quill team. Effective communication is a hallmark of communicators. They express ideas clearly and confidently, both verbally and in writing. They also excel at active listening and engaging in meaningful dialogues. IB students develop strong communication skills in multiple languages to foster intercultural understanding. Tonight, we recognize 3 students that have shown excellence in communication. Jordan Harrell, Daniela Aguilar Hernandez, and Audrina St. Hilaire. Next, we would like to recognize the Quill Team. The Quill Team is an original competition developed in cooperation with the North Carolina Reading Association and aligned with Common Core standards. Teams compete by creating written products, given a prompt from a specific text style. This year, our team will compete in the state competition on Saturday, December the 7th. The team competes under the advisement under Miss Marie Moss, who has worked tirelessly with these girls, and will travel with them to the state competition this year. The team consists of Kayla Hedrick, Adrielle Hinton, Allison Meglar Arguleta, and Chanel Vargas Torres. Ms. Moss. Ms. Moss, go take a picture with your girls. Congratulations once again. To our esteemed board members and our superintendent, Dr. Parker, this concludes our recognitions. Thank you so much for following me. Thank you so much for allowing me to share with you and celebrate some of our awesome students and staff. Thank you, and you guys have a great one.
Good evening, Board Chair Cobb, Assistant Ms. Pereza, our board members, and Dr. Parker. We're gonna make this quick because my folks said hurry up, all right? And I follow directions really well. We have some staff members that we would like to celebrate tonight. We have Mr. Marcus White. If you have not followed, our football team made it to the playoffs, first round, and that had not happened in quite a few years. So we wanted to celebrate Mr. Marcus White for his football. And he's not here, of course, because he's being a dad. So thank you, Ms. Davis. Our next awards go to our teachers who have exceeded or met growth as determined by our Education Value Added Assessment System, which we call EVAS. We'd like to celebrate Ms. Vivian McDaniels, who had the highest growth in the school and exceeded growth, and she's also tonight being a mom. We have Mr. Jamar Pabalona. Let's go, Mr. Pabalona. Mr. Pabalona exceeded growth as measured by EVAS and his first year teaching a state test. Congratulations, Mr. Pabalona. Next, we have, I call her Mama Peggy. Miss Peggy Gomez met expected growth as measured by EVAS, and I won't let her go home yet, so we're gonna keep giving her these awards. Come on, Miss Gomez. Next, we have Mr. Antoine Demps. He is also home being a dad tonight, but Mr. Demps was one of our first-year teachers who met expected growth for teaching business essentials. Congratulations, Mr. Demps. Next, we have Mr. Kevin Wedde. He's also one of our first-year global teachers, teaching a state test for the first time and met expected growth. We are proud of you, Mr. Wedde. Congratulations. Next, we have Miss Bridget Robbins. You better come on here, woman. She also met expected growth for teaching English 2 and getting ready to be a new mommy. Super excited for her. Congratulations. Next, we have another global teacher, Miss Raina Denega, first time teaching a state test. She met expected growth. Congratulations. Good teaching is good teaching, folks. And so we are super proud of all of our global teachers who rocked it out their first year teaching. Our next 3 awards go to some staff members who go beyond their classroom, their content, their curriculum to provide experiences for students that will last a lifetime. I am fortunate, that's why I'm dressed like this, to represent our military who have adopted me and tried to train me, but I don't follow directions very well. But I'm working on it. So we'd like to celebrate and say a special thank you to Sergeant Samantha Minton, who is new to our ROTC team. And Master Sergeant Coffey, who is just near and dear to my heart. He keeps us all afloat. We thank you for all that you do, Sergeant Coffey. Thank you. Last but definitely not least, if you have not heard the best band in North Carolina, then you have not been to Pasquotank County High School. So I'd like to just shout out Mr. Nicholas Stanley because he is a proud Panther graduate and has put the North Side Sound on the map. And we are so proud of all that you do for putting up with those children on all the time with the craziest calls that you've had this year, with the craziest stuff, but you keep coming to work, so I appreciate you. Thank you. And I kept it short and sweet. Thank you.
All right, I want to thank everybody. We've got 2 videos we're going to play here to highlight these 2 schools, and that'll conclude our recognition instructional highlight portion here. Ms. Moore and Ms. Bell and their teams worked to produce 2 videos to highlight some of the work that's going on. So in addition to these recognitions, we want to shout out just the transformative work that's going on at these 2 schools on the north side. Shortly after I got here, Ms. Moore and Miss Bell and I were joking one day, and we just started saying north side, strong side. And so a lot of our work has been embedded in some turnaround and some initiatives on the north side, and as well as our other campuses. But as you have seen from our school report card grades, our schools on the north side of the county have made some significant academic progress through the hard work of the folks that are in this room and the students and families. So let's start off, guys, if we can, with the ECMS video, and then as soon as that's over, we'll go right into our Pasquotank video.
Hello, welcome to Elizabeth City Middle School, where it's always sweet at the Hive. Join me as I show you some of the great things that are happening here at Elizabeth City Middle School this year. From IB, the middle year program, to our partnership with community schools, to how our students are focusing on the 4 E's to prepare them for high school and beyond.
We are a candidate school undergoing authorization for the International Baccalaureate program, which encompasses a 5-year program. We house the first 3 years. And what that means is that we are encouraging students to become more globally prepared and dual language citizens, as well as to become critical thinkers, both within our community and the world. We are also a global school, which means that we are talking to students about local issues from a global perspective. With Global, we have a monthly theme, and November's theme is Global Leadership. So far this year, we have had monthly push-ins for International Baccalaureate. We have been talking to students about their learner profiles, so encouraging students to get to know their strengths and weaknesses, and seeing how students learn and how they interact with the world around them.
Part of the IB advantage is profiles. Profiles such as risk taker, caring, thoughtful, balanced. Learning these profiles help us to learn about these different people and what they think about, their mindset and how they do stuff at home, about what they do at here too.
Part of the IB advantage is that we have a design class. I would say that the advantages of an IB program, especially the area of design, is to just have the students more open-minded, which is one of our IB learner profiles, so that students can just think not only about themselves, but how to be empathetic, which is a basis of the design cycle. And then they go through things such as inquiring and analyzing, so they have to put themselves into the minds of someone else to think about that person's needs best.
Out of everything in IB, something specifically that I really like that we did Hispanic Heritage Month. I did a Google slide. We had to research about how different people in Hispanic Heritage Month impacted STEM, and then we had a poster that we did. So because of the IB program in itself, we get to learn about different heritages and different cultures and things that could probably help you build empathy and compassion and expand your knowledge in a whole bunch of different things.
My name is Preston, and I'm in the Career Ready Lab, and I'm doing CT, and we learn how to put splits on each other, and you gotta check the pulse. The class offers different skills and techniques, how it can help you in the future in your life.
Community schools is a partnership through East Carolina University to provide family engagement. So we want to make sure our families feel part of our student success. At Elizabeth City Middle School, we are a family-based school, so we want our families to come in, know what their students are doing, as well as that be a part of that learning process. We brought families in to show them some activities that they can do while they're at home. We've also done a vape awareness. The Weeksville Lions Club, they've come in, they've given out free eye exams for students. We are a partner school with Pasquotank County High School, so we're preparing kids for our 4 E's, which entrepreneurship, enlistment, employment, and enrollment. So they're already getting people ready in that order. The goal is, again, we want to bring as many families in the building so they can see what we have going on, and just pretty much just show hey, Elizabeth City Middle School, we're your partner, we're your friend. We want to bring you in so we can make sure that y'all successful.
Another part of the IB advantage is that we implement Spanish at ECPPS for 8th graders. Because now we live in a multicultural world, so it's important that the students can feel and be approached to a second language, and Spanish is one of the most spoken ones. This year has been challenging, has been different for students because it's the first time that they face a second language, but it has been a good challenge. They're willing to learn, they're very happy, and I try to explain them the importance to get a second language in this multicultural and global world.
Thanks for stopping by today. Our hope and belief is that here at Elizabeth City Middle School, all our students will succeed through the collaborative partnerships with home, school, and the community. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Thanks for stopping by today. Our hope and belief is that here at Elizabeth City Middle School, all our students will succeed through the collaborative partnerships with home, school, and the community. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.
So I'm standing here today in front of one of our newest projects, our Panthers on the Prowl. So one of the things that we noticed about our students is that they needed to be able to feel the pride of attending Pasquotank County High School, and so that they would understand that they are continuing a legacy that has already been started for them. So along with that has come not just focusing on all of the opportunities that we provide for our students, but understanding that all schools are graded based on how their students perform in the classroom. So with that, we have added our master classroom leaders that support not just our teachers, but our students.
My name is Sylvia Carver. I've been in education for 17 years, and I currently serve as a multi-classroom leader here at P-Tank. I love helping the teachers, supporting them, giving them ideas for warm-ups and testing and small group activities and things like that, so I serve in a supportive role for the math department this year. It's important as an MCL that I support the teachers and I keep them on pacing so that we do a good job on the EOCs that are coming up.
Hi, I'm Wendy Channel. I am the Science MCL at Pasquotank County High School. So out of my 3 science teachers, when we do labs and other hands-on activities, it allows me to go in and help those teachers facilitate their large class sizes in those more hands-on and small group settings.
The focus on our 4 E's ensures that we are just not meeting the areas of students who have to take state tests, but we want to ensure that every student that enters and exits Pasquotank County High School has a career and a pathway that suits their needs and not ours.
Our initiative with the 4 E's, enrollment, enlistment, employment, and entrepreneurship are very important to our students. Students upon graduation need to have a plan in one of these areas. Therefore, they will be contributing, successful members of society.
After high school, we want them to have a plan. So with that being said, I extended the 4 E's by having sessions during flex time. I have speakers come in, talk to the kids, get their minds boggling, try to figure out what they want to do after graduation.
Part of the 4 E's is enrollment.
Enrollment is important. I've been enrolled at COA for 2 years, and that's allowed me to get a jump start on my COA education.
What I plan on doing after this is going into a police force or military police.
I plan to go to college and finish getting my degrees in psychology.
And I've been accepted at UNC Charlotte, and I'm a major in mechanical engineering with a concentration in biomedical engineering.
There's also another E, employment. So I am currently a tech intern for the school district of ECPPS. I currently work 2 days here and 2 days at another location, and I've gone around to 4 or 5 different schools. And thanks to Ms. Moore, they have allowed me to take this internship and work for the school district.
I'm Jacob Markham, and I'm a computer programmer. I make apps and work on apps, like currently employed for working on an app, and I'm also making my own virtual assistant for working out.
My name is Amari, and one day I just felt like I wanted to make clothes, and she had already started making designs without me knowing. One day we just came together and just made it happen.
And I'm gonna be honest, you know, when I seen it, when I found out about it, it was already basically rolling. And, you know, I was impressed, and I'm even impressed to see where it's grown to.
I think it's really important because, say if you're chasing your dream, if you know you're chasing your dream, you're really gonna work hard and push to get it and get it through to make it work.
Something that me and her have been doing for a while now is crocheting. A little while ago, I made a couple of crocheted hairbands and I posted them on my social media, and I just asked if anyone was interested, and I sold all of them.
Another one of the 4 E's is enlistment. RTC has influenced me to enlist in the military because it teaches us about the leadership positions and the benefits that the military has to offer for us.
So I want to thank our 2 principals and their teams and the staff and students that helped produce those videos. As everyone begins to get ready to leave here, if anybody has any question in Elizabeth City about where the place to send your child to school is, I want you to show them these 2 videos. And those 2 videos will answer any questions about what you can achieve if you attend Elizabeth City-Pasquotank Public Schools. So let's give another round of applause to these men. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. I see that people are kind of going, okay, is it time, is it time? So what we're going to do, I think we're going to take a break right this second. We're going to take a break for just a minute or two, just to transition into our other business for the night. For those of you, we respect your time if you need to leave and go home and cook dinner or feed your kids or whatever that is. But thank you so much for coming out. We're going to take a 2-minute recess, and then we'll be right back.
Bye, darling.
Okay, we will continue on now with our agenda as it is written. At this time, we are going to move forward to public comment. Just a few reminders about public comment this evening. Each speaker will receive 3 minutes to present public comment. A sign-up sheet will be available 30 minutes before the meeting begins for any individual or group to indicate their desire to address the board. During the public comment period, the board chairperson will recognize speakers in the order in which they signed in. When a person's name is called, please approach the podium without anything in hand except paper or an index card if needed. Substitute speakers will not be permitted, and speakers may not donate any portion of their time to another speaker. If a speaker is unable to present all of his or her information within the specified time limit, the speaker may provide the board with the additional information in written form. The chairperson will preside over the public comment period. Board members will not respond to individuals who address the board except to request clarification of points made by the presenter. The speaker will be made aware when his or her 3 minutes is up, and at that time, the speaker must leave the podium without comment and either return to his or her seat or leave the meeting. Except in cases of emergency, information received during presentations will not be acted upon at the time it is received. Disruptions by any person or persons in a public meeting will be subject to action in accordance with GS 143-318.17. This evening, we have two individuals who have signed up for our public comment. So per board policy, we will begin with the first name on the list, which is Mr. Tony Sawyer. Mr. Sawyer, you may approach the podium, and Ms. Parker will let you know when to begin and when to end.
Good evening. Reason why I'm here tonight, of course, y'all probably realize I'm trying to get reinstated again. The Northeastern High School football team is ranked #1 in the state. They probably going to get it all this year. After 17 years, I want to be a part of that journey to get that golden ring. These opportunities don't come around much. I've been fighting for 4 years to get back. I'll be devastated if I miss this moment. I've been reaching out to Dr. Parker to get reinstated. It hasn't happened yet, but I did find out in the last couple of weeks that a person in the mayor's office, one of our county commissioners, and one of our city council members, all three people have addressed Dr. Parker on my behalf. And Dr. Parker, who I've been blaming all this time, actually wants to let me back, but he's worried about a couple of the board members that may hold this over his head when it comes time for his contract to be renewed in a year and a half, no matter, despite the job that he's doing right now. So I'm reaching out to you board members tonight when you go in closed session to please strongly consider letting me come back for this journey. I don't have to report to anybody at the school or any team members or coaches. I report to the line judge, let me do the balls. Currently, there are 2 9-year-old students doing this. 2 9-year-olds. They have no clue what they're doing. You know, the schedule where Northeastern wins by 50 and 60 points, that's over. It's getting tight now, people. They need somebody that knows what they're doing. I've done it for 17 years. I'm the best at it. They count on me. These 9-year-olds don't know what they're doing. You know, you got different balls to put in for different situations. You got to wipe them down after they hit the ground every other second. I mean, every other play. I mean, it could cost them a ring. I think about people like Mr. Brinson, who's been out there for 50 years. You know, he's waiting to win one before he can get out of there. And I hate for him or any of our other coaching staff or students to come up short just because of something simple as the wrong ball being put in. And another thing, these 9-year-olds, let me tell you something. I've been out there 17 years. I've seen plenty of times a 240-pound linebacker chasing one of our players out on the sidelines, take out a whole coaching staff, take out the cheerleaders, take out the cameraman, you know, take out the team doctors. I've been taking out myself. We got 9-year-olds out there doing this, people. What do you think is going to happen if one of these big guys on Wallace Rose Hill hits one of our 9-year-olds? You're going to have a lawsuit because that student's parents going to be out there in court. You know, hey, this child got hurt on our field. He's about 9 years old. Can you imagine what's going to happen when a 240-pound linebacker hits a 9-year-old? I mean, this whole school system is going to be liable.
Mr. Sawyer, that's the end of your time. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
That was 3 minutes?
Yes, sir. That was 3 minutes.
I ask y'all, please consider
Thank
this.
you so much. Next on our list this evening, we have Miss Elizabeth Shakin.
Good. The butterfly effect is a social phenomenon that rests on the notion that the world is deeply interconnected, such that one small occurrence can influence a much larger complex system. It's often used to emphasize the potential impact of even small choices in our lives and the world around us. A simple example of this happened recently in my home. One day I received a message from my son's teacher that he would be taking mock EOGs over the next 2 days. As a first-time second grader mom, this was so exciting. That day, my little ones came home from school and helped me rake some pine straw to the street. As the evening wore on, my oldest son became increasingly irritable until it became unbearable. I put all 4 of my little boys to bed and declared it bedtime. hoping that some quiet time was all we needed. As the room became still, Daniel said to me, "I have a really big test tomorrow. My teacher said it would be long and hard. I am scared I won't do a good job." I did my very best to encourage him, and we prayed for him. The next morning, he felt happy, and by the evening, he reported to me that the first 25 questions were easy. Only the last 7 were hard, and the test had only taken an hour and a half. The real test will be longer. He felt he had done a good job and was eager to receive his results from his teacher. I know I am not alone in experiencing how ECPPS impacts my children and consequently my home. I know that what I do either helps or hinders my children's abilities to succeed in this world. I know from personal experiences the good community resources do to help me navigate the challenges I experience in my home and with my children. I know the empowerment I feel as I learn how I can leverage the system of public education to benefit my children. In a recent Brigham Young University speech, Melissa Kearney, an economist for the last 2 decades who studies the economics of families and on poverty, inequality, and social mobility in the United States, and who regularly engages with public audiences and policymakers, shared evidence-based research to illuminate this statement. In order to improve the lives of American children, to reduce poverty and inequality, and to close class and racial gaps in society, we need to make strong families a national priority. Tonight, I am submitting a proposal for ECPPS to reimagine their social media platforms to be more inclusive of parents and to share community resources that strengthen families.
Ms. Shakin, thank you so much. All right, those are the only 2 folks that we have signed up for public comment this evening, so we are going to move on in our agenda to our superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple things I want to share this evening. One, I want to thank everybody that participated in the Global Symposium that we hosted on October 29th. Many folks in this room were able to be there along with some of our community partners, and we joined at J.C. Sawyer Elementary and had an opportunity to tour some of the Spanish immersion classrooms, along with talking about some of our partners that are helping us build out a global vision for our students from grades pre-K through 12. And you would remember from seeing from the video a couple minutes ago that Elizabeth City Middle School added this year a Spanish class for their students there, along with global programming associated with IB. And so we're working to build out a way for students to learn languages at a young age and also learn about the world around them all the way up until 12th grade. And so it's really encouraging to see this work continue to happen across multiple schools in the district. We have opened our dual language immersion interest survey for next year. We are asking parents to give us feedback if they would have an interest in enrolling their child at this program at our 3 remaining elementary schools. That would be Weeksville Elementary School, P.W. Moore, and Sheep Harney. And so that's available now, and any parent that has some interest in that can go to our website or email Dr. Katina Waples directly, and we can give you that link to that website. I do want to thank our students for helping us out with an event here recently to honor veterans on Veterans Day. And so Board Member Pereza, along with Centera President Teresa Watson, invited us to attend a ceremony at the hospital to recognize veterans on Veterans Day. And so our students at Pasquotank County High School, under the direction of Miss Ruby right here, organized the entire program. And so our choir was there, our OTC, our students conducted the entire veterans ceremony for Board Member Pereza, the staff of the hospital, and the hospital president. So I won't say anything else because I suspect Ruby may want to share some things when she does her board member highlight. But I did want to specifically thank you, Ruby, for that, and also Board Member Pereza, thank you for the invitation to join you at Centera for that. I also want to say that The board had an opportunity last week to attend the North Carolina School Boards Association Conference, and the board was invited and accepted to make a presentation to other school boards about some of the work that's going on. So I want to just recognize and thank our board for the amazing job that you all did in the presentation and sharing some of the work that's going on here in Elizabeth City. We had board members come up to us after the presentation from other districts around the state, wanting to speak to our board about how they can learn to do some of these things in their districts. I believe Board Member Warden had a couple of board members asked if they could come down and visit and come down here and see some of the stuff we're doing in Elizabeth City. So I want to thank the board for their hard work in preparing for that and really representing the city well. And then I also want to thank Dr. Sheila Williams for inviting me to attend last week to an induction ceremony for 21 students at Elizabeth City State University that were inducted into the College of Education into their junior and senior years. And so that's the highest number that ECSU has had for students that are wanting to go into the teaching profession. And I think that's really encouraging to see a place where enrollment in the College of Education is going up and not down. My alma mater of East Carolina University has seen a decline, as many other universities have over the past 5 years, a decline in enrollment in College of Ed programs. So to see an increase, I think speaks really well. And Dr. Williams could maybe tell us the name of this, but when I was there was a mother and a daughter that were enrolling in the College of Ed at the same time to be teachers. And so I just thought that was a wonderful story in of itself of the great things that we have going on in the city. So last thing I would say is Wednesday of this week is a teacher work day, and so it will not be a student session to all of our students, so you can sleep in that day if you have permission from your parents to do that, or unless you have to work at Hibbett's or other places, you can sleep in. Our teachers and some of our staff will have the option of working virtually that day if they choose. And then Thursday and Friday this week will be holidays, and then we will be on a full court press until December 20th, which is an early release day, and then we move into the Christmas holiday. So on full steam ahead to make these things happen until we get back and take final exams. Having said that, that concludes the report. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Parker. And now we'll turn things over to Vice Chair Pereza and our student board members.
Thank you, Chair Cobb. I will just turn this over to our student board members so they can give us their reports tonight.
All right. Good evening, everyone. This is our fourth board meeting of the year. Isn't that exciting? So I would like to kick off my report by highlighting some of the things our school and students have been doing. Starting off, our choral students had the opportunity to take a trip to Greenville for the ECU High School Invitational Choral Fest. This event drew over 900 high school choir students in total, and they had a 15-minute onstage clinic with an ECU director who helped them improve vocal techniques. Our AFJROTC unit, along with our choir, presented the Veterans Day program at Sentara Albemarle Hospital on Veterans Day. I'd like to thank Ms. Pereza for giving us this opportunity. It was an honor being able to honor our heroes. Our EC students were able to go into town, visiting Walmart and Food Lion, where they shopped for staff members. Staff members gave them shopping lists and cash, and the students had to go find the items, pay for them with the cash, get the change back, ultimately delivering the groceries for the staff members. They also went to IHOP and Big Daddy's, where they worked on reading a menu, ordering their food, correctly using utensils, and also working on clear communication with the server. Those trips were aimed at teaching students skills they need to know before they graduate. I would also like to congratulate our football team who made it to playoffs for the first time in several years. They poured their hearts out, and although they didn't get the outcome they expected, losing 20-34, they did a phenomenal job, and we're proud of our boys. Our DECA chapter, along with Northeastern's chapter, had the opportunity to attend the Ultimate DECA Power Trip in the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, in which there were over 2,500 members from the Central, North Atlantic, and Southern regions, with about 20 states in attendance. We stayed for 3 days, and it was an amazing opportunity to network with peers, learn from industry professionals, explore career paths, and participate in leadership development activities and gain practical business skills through workshops and competitions. And like Ms. Moore had said, our administration has created a wall of fame down the Fine Arts hallway titled Panthers on the Prowl, and has been asking all alumni who participated in athletics, junior ROTC, or any art to send this information and to be recognized by our students, serving as motivation and a constant reminder that we have so much potential. We also had Dr. Roberto Frontera Subaru from the Department of Natural Science from ECSU come down and spend some time with our biology students to provide real-world experiments with college lab equipment. And just this Friday, we had 2 successful events, thanks to our community who came out to support our band at Chick-fil-A, which a percentage of all the mobile orders went out to support our band, and our DECA annual Winter Wonderland. It was a great turnout. Multiple students from DECA, National Honor Society, and Fire Tech came out to volunteer, and those funds go towards our competition. Our wrestling team, both male and female, competed this past weekend in separate tournaments. They both traveled to West Craven and competed on separate days. The ladies won 5th place overall and had 3 placers, Colby McKeithen in 1st place, Ariana Scales in 1st place, and Francesca Cardenas in 4th. And our men's wrestling team finished off the dual tournament with 3rd place overall. This is a time of year when we pause to appreciate the good in our lives and acknowledge the people who have supported and inspired us. With that being said, I'd like to thank each and every member on the board for all that you've done for us as student board members. Through this opportunity, I was able to meet my fellow board members, Erica and Brandon, who I now consider my friends. We've accomplished so much together. Thank you for providing us countless opportunities and involving us with all that you do. I look forward to all that we are capable of achieving together. And before I conclude my report, Dr. Parker asked me to incorporate the video that each of our schools had to do. So the North Carolina School Boards Association sponsored a video contest for high school students, kind of representing that our school is more than just a school. And the idea I had for Pasquotank County High School was ROTC and how that leads to people leading in our community. So, thank you. Hi, my name is Ruby. What's your name?
My name's Audrey. I'm a sophomore. What about you?
This is my first year at this school. What do you do?
Nothing really. School's kind of boring.
Really? So what are your plans?
I don't really know.
Hey, we overheard your conversation and we think you would be the perfect fit for ROTC.
There are so many opportunities within the class. I mean, just take it from us.
This is our 2nd semester in it.
Ew, don't do that. That's nerdy.
I wouldn't lose anything by trying it out. Can you guys show me the classroom?
This is our instructor, Master Sergeant Coffee.
Let us introduce you to him.
Hello, Master Sergeant Coffee. This is a prospective cadet. Her name is Ruby. She's a freshman and we're trying to get her into the class.
Hi, Ruby. I'm so excited to know that you're interested in this program. We do have many LDRs, also known as clubs.
After being an AFR OTC for 4 years, I learned to persevere. I improved my leadership skills, became a more confident public speaker, and had the opportunity to engage with many cadets and represent our unit. I am grateful for this opportunity that the school has provided me.
It looks like ROTC's done a lot for you.
Yeah, school is more than just a school.
Good evening, everyone. Like Ruby said, it is our 4th time at a board meeting, and it is definitely very exciting. So to kick off my little spiel, on October 5th, the Northeastern High School cheerleaders competed at the Virginia Regional Competition, and they returned as division champions with a score of 89.1, the 2nd highest score of the entire competition. In February, they will travel to Orlando, Florida to compete in the UCA National High School Cheerleading Championships hosted by the Walt Disney World Resort. Our FFA team attended many events this month with the North Carolina FFA Albemarle Federation Land Judging Competition. They received 1st place with Julie Simons as the highest scoring individual overall. They also attended the North Carolina FFA State Land Judging CDE competition with 2nd place. Julie Simons is also the highest scoring individual for that competition as well. And the North Carolina FFA East Regional Livestock Evaluation CDE competition, winning 3rd place in the regional team with Joe Overman with the 3rd highest score in the Northeast region. Our swim team with Jordy Perez Pereira placing 1st in the 200-meter freestyle and 100-meter backstroke, and our girls relay team placing 4th in the 200-meter relay. And our varsity football team is advancing to the 3rd round of playoffs, which is super exciting, after defeating Green Central 50-6. Our next game will be this Friday against West Craven, so please come out and support your local Eagles. And for academics, English 2 and biology check-in scores went above our school's set goals. HOSA had a successful blood drive, and 600 pounds of food have been donated to the food bank via our spirit events. We could definitely have seen a increase in student activity with all these events, with the bonfires that we've had and all the football games. That's also exciting to see. And with the video that Ruby mentioned, it was so exciting to be able to go to Greensboro with our board members to experience kind of like a professional setting and to get to meet people who are excited about our achievements and also get to see some of our fellow board members place in the competition against other hundreds of schools. And for my video, I kind of focused on our teacher cadet program and FFA, which have made huge impacts in our school.
Here at Northeastern, we're more than a school. We're a family because we directly engage with the people of Elizabeth City.
This program is important because Elizabeth City-Pasquotank Public Schools has poured into you since you were in kindergarten, and you know there's a nationwide teacher shortage. This community has a lot to offer, and it's important to come back and give back. And if you're interested in the teaching profession, we have scholarships available, and you will get to come back and pour right back into the community that's poured so much into you.
I'm in the Teacher Cadet program to give back to my community. I believe being in this program will help me showcase the love and passion I have for helping young kids and students.
Another way our school is more than just a school is through our community outreach through clubs like our FFA. Our FFA not only does competitions with stuff like animal science and horticulture, but we also read to elementary schools, we do a plant sale, we have an SPCA program where we shelter animals in need. These are all ways that we can give back.
It's important for our schools to be more than a school. We have to be a part of our community.
And before Brandon starts, may I add that video received an honorable mention. She forgot to say that. So.
Good evening, everybody. This is our fourth meeting. I'm very excited. This has been a good year. Can't wait for 2025. Our National Honor Society made Thanksgiving cards for residents at Waterbrook, which we delivered last Monday. Our National Honor Society partnered with Green Saves Green to pick up trash on the highway. We was by Wendy's. We was just on the highway. I thought I was gonna get hit a couple times, but we was there and we was picking up trash. Our SGA is working on their float for the Christmas parade, and our fall semester is winding down for us, and our final exams begin after Thanksgiving. Lastly, I would like to say that we took a trip to Greensboro and we placed 3rd place in the North Carolina School Board Association in the video contest. I'd like to thank Mr. Benny for editing the video. He was great. I really don't know what we was going for, but whatever it was, we did it and we did it right. So I thank everybody and I thank you for the support. Here's your video.
This was me way back in 2021. I had just gotten to Elizabeth City-Pasquotank Early College, so I didn't know what to expect. I really wasn't looking forward to sitting in classrooms and taking on this challenging school. Pretty quickly, I realized that our school is more than just a school. Here's what I did. I learned I could experience learning outside of the classroom. I have visited local nursing homes and businesses to learn more about their operations. I performed in plays for the College of the Albemarle. I handed out candy to the children of Elizabeth City on Halloween. I made Valentine's Day cards for the nursing home with the National Honor Society. I made encouragement cards for the nurses at the hospital. I became a certified nursing assistant and worked at local nursing homes. I realize now that I am my community. I will be graduating with my high school diploma and my associate's degree, with the goal of being a bigger part of the global community.
Tell them how much money you won.
Guys, we won $1,000.
When you said that, the finance department, their eyes got really big. And they got really happy over there.
Thank you, students. That concludes our report.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to move on now, and we need a motion to approve our consent agenda this evening.
I move to approve the consent agenda as printed. I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion needed? If not, please show a positive vote with a show of hands. Let the record reflect that vote is unanimous. Okay, now we're going to move on to items for information.
And we would like to now ask for Ms. Heather Edmondson to come forward, our Director of Technology, and to introduce a presentation here, supported with help from our student board members. And Heather's going to share a couple of things, but we've been thinking really deeply about what the future of learning looks like. You know, as the board knows that our number one main strategic priority is to reimagine education in the public schools in Elizabeth City. And we've been spending a lot of time with our technology department thinking about what does reimagining the student experience through technology look like. And we're going to demonstrate some things here this evening that we're thinking about. Heather and I and Jennifer recently got back from a conference with Apple. Our Brandon School, the early college, is applying to become an Apple Distinguished School. We transitioned that school over a year ago to every student there has a MacBook as a personal device, and so we're applying to become an Apple Distinguished School. And we were recently with educators from around the world, and Heather and Jennifer and I really walked away from that conference just feeling humbled about the incredible things that are happening in the world with young people and thinking about how we replicate these experiences. So having said that, Heather, thank you and team for the introduction. We'll turn it over to you.
That's great. Thank you so much, Dr. Parker. Good evening, board members, Board Chair Cobb, and all of the community members. As Dr. Parker said, you can see from tonight that we are definitely reimagining education in ECPPS across the board. With that being said, we also want to look at that instructionally, but also from the instructional technology standpoint as well. When you hear the word education, what do you immediately think of? You think of schools, buildings, brick and mortar buildings. You think of students with computers. You think of books, textbooks, novels, chapter books that elementary students are reading. You think of pen and paper. You think of crayons and other tools that students need in order to get work done. We think about cell phones. We live with students on cell phones. We think about students in a class with the teacher up front, guiding all of the instruction, walking up and down the rows, making sure all the students are participating. We think about students forming a line and walking down the hallway. We think about students following along with what they're supposed to be doing. But what do you think of when you hear the question, what will education look like in 5 years? Us too. We think the same thing. We don't know what it's going to look like in 5 years, but we know where we're headed with it so that we can prepare our kids. When you ask an AI tool to create a picture of what education will look like in 5 years, this is what comes back. All kinds of crazy things. You see headsets, the VR headsets. You see a robot in the middle of the room. You see students all with their own personal desktops. You see students not only learning from a teacher, but also working together and just learning on their own. Personalized instruction. If you look through and you notice that our mission statement for ECPPS is reimagining education for all to ensure every learner is academically challenged and prepared for life. We are currently preparing kids for a life that we don't know what it's going to look like. It's changing every single day. When we talk to students, students said, we want you to prepare us for life, but we want hands-on learning experiences that are relevant to the real world. How can we do that? We know that we need to. How can we do that? Well, it's through getting them out in their community, getting them out in nature, getting them out in the schools where they are currently assigned, getting them into all of the different opportunities that you've heard tonight from all of our students, and getting them there so that they can learn not only with a device, but learn the way they need to learn. I know that everybody has heard about the impact of artificial intelligence. We see it every day. It's changing so quickly. We started off with ChatGPT. Now we're up to like ChatGPT 4. And then you've got 47 different programs that can take Dr. Parker's voice, turn it into something else, and then the next thing you know, he is a one-hit wonder on YouTube making a song. We know that we can do that immediately. So how are we going to utilize that to prepare our kids? What about augmented reality? What is augmented reality? I'm going to turn it over to our student board members so that they can show us an activity of exploring the Statue of Liberty through augmented reality.
Good evening once again. It's a pleasure to be standing here alongside my fellow board members, Brandon from the early college and Erica from Northeastern. Recently, last week when we were coming back from Greensboro, actually, we were informed that we were going to get iPads, and we got super excited. If they can pull up the film from the bus, you could probably see our facial expressions when we read that email. But along with the iPad, when we were discovering it, we saw this app, the Statue of Liberty app. And in that app, when you go through it, there's a lot of different simulations, and there's augmented reality there. So let me introduce Brandon as he will be explaining what augmented reality is and how it's used throughout the app.
So the question is, what is augmented reality? Augmented reality is an interactive experience that enhances the real world with computer-generated perceptual information. Using software such as AR glasses and other devices like these iPads we got, augmented reality shows digital content onto real-life environments, such as the Statue of Liberty and the living room. I will now have Erica come up.
So when we take a look at our first interactive section called A Vision for Liberty, we have the opportunity to get a view from the Statue of Liberty's torch. So on all your iPads, you have this app. So let's open it up and click on A Vision for Liberty. Oh, and I'll do the same.
Do we click view in air? Okay.
Oh. So the app will ask you to point your iPad at the floor in an open, well-lit area and move your iPad slowly around to detect a surface. We're going to see if this works. When you have the visual open, you should be able to see the torch that the Statue of Liberty is holding. When you click the screen, you will see like different times of day from sunrise to daytime, sunset, twilight, and nighttime, which is pretty crazy to visually see kind of what the torch looks like throughout all times of the day. That's not mine. I don't know who's that. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was
The next one, Liberty was me. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's like you're really there.
All right, now I'm gonna tell y'all how the Liberty was made. That's another subject there. The Statue of Liberty's creators spent nearly a decade designing, shaping, and assembling her piece. Along the way, they faced no shortage of artistic and engineering challenges. The Statue of Liberty stands in Upper New York Bay, a universal symbol of freedom. Originally conceived as an emblem of the friendship between the people of France and the U.S. and a sign of their mutual desire for liberty. It was also meant to celebrate the abolition of slavery following the U.S. Civil War.
Okay, I'm back. In our final interactive portion, Liberty and the People, we get to see New York City from Liberty's perspective. The Statue of Liberty has witnessed more than a century of U.S. history unfold, through times of war and peace to greeting millions of people searching for a better life in a new country, and we get to experience firsthand the growth of the city. So, similar to the last ones, we'll enter Liberty and the People with the 180 experience. And it says, dedicated in 1886, the Statue of Liberty watched New York City grow from its humble beginnings. Tilt your iPad from the side to see the skyline evolve as time goes by. I think this one's my favorite.
So we thought this was pretty cool. I think this is the first time I've had any interaction with AR. And the question is, iPad as a learning tool, and why is that? So the iPad and augmented reality serve as a powerful learning tool because they make complex or distant subjects accessible, interactive, and engaging. AR provides a hands-on 3D experience, such as exploring the Statue of Liberty, helping students better understand historical and cultural significance. By turning traditional learning into an interactive activity, iPads encourage curiosity and sustain attention. Students can explore places and concepts that might otherwise be out of reach due to cost, location, or logistical constraints. iPads support a variety of learning apps and tools tailored to different learning styles and needs, ensuring inclusivity. Using AR fosters digital literacy and critical thinking, skills essential for success in the modern world. Incorporating such technology enhances learning by bridging the gap between theoretical knowledge and real-world experience. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
This year, ECPPS has really been working to vision what it's going to look like in 5 years. Part of that is also looking at what tools are we providing to our students. This has been an ongoing focus for us this year, and we are currently wrapping that process up, hoping to have some definite decisions at least by the end of December. With that being said, if there are any questions or comments regarding this, I would be excited to hear those and to get feedback. With that being said, we are still also looking for participants in our end-of-the-year focus groups as we continue to work towards our vision for what technology will look like moving forward. If you're interested in that, the QR code will actually take you to a Google form, and you can fill that out. We will be in contact with you to set up those times. Or if you don't have your cell phone or you are using your device, you can actually follow the link on the bottom, and we can share that if needed. Thank you so much for your attention.
Wow. That's all I got. Wow. That's amazing. As somebody who just went to New York about 2 weeks ago, knowing that students can sit in their classroom and see that, especially students that have never been to New York before. That's pretty amazing. We're going to move on now to our new business and ask Rachel Haynes if she'll join us.
Chair Cobb, Vice Chair President, board members, good evening. I don't have anything nearly as exciting as the demonstration that you just saw. So tonight I have for the board policy updates. The first item on your agenda is item A. It's the new fall policy updates from the School Boards Association. The first policy in that group that we want to talk about, and these are all for first read, is policy 5150, which is a new policy that next month we'll ask the board to adopt. And this is reporting to external agencies. And it lists some of our external agency requirements in one policy, which is very helpful. The next group of policies that we're going to talk about are revisions. Policy 1310 and 4002 is parental involvement, and policy 3420, student promotion and accountability. And this policy has been revised to address the new statutory required career development plans. Policy 2302 is remote participation in board meetings, and this policy is being revised to clarify that except in meetings held during a state-declared emergency, remote participants in at board meetings do not count towards a quorum and are not allowed to vote. Policy 3225, 4312, 7320 is technology responsible use, and this policy is revised to include consequences for policy violations. And this is in response to the new state law prohibiting viewing of pornography on government networks and devices. Policy 3410, testing and assessment program, is revised to harmonize the SBE policy and administrative code, and it outlines clearly the exception to the 20% rule on testing. Policy 3460, graduation requirements, revises the course unit tables to reflect the current State Board of Education requirements. Policy 4320, tobacco products, students, and policy 5026, 7250, smoking and tobacco products, is revised to align the definition of tobacco products with the definition that's in state law. Policy 4329, 7311, bullying and harassing behavior prohibited, is revised to update section F to identify the site supervisor as the investigator if it's not under the jurisdiction of a principal. Policy 5022, registered sex offenders, is revised to update the definition of registered sex offender based on statutory changes. And policy 8305, federal grant administration, is revised to conform with changes to uniform guidance. The next set of policies I'm just going to list because these are all updates to legal references, and that's policy 3620, 7310, 6200, 6430, 6450, 7130, 7650, and 9110. And those are, again, just updates to legal references. And that's item A. Are there any questions? Okay, and again, those are for first read. Item B is a set of policies also for first read. This is two policies that we have revised internally. The first policy, 7500, workday and overtime, is revised to clarify the length of the workday and to modify the work week to reflect our current practice. And policy 7510 is leave, and this is revised to clarify that leave and half and whole days applies to those positions who require a substitute. Again, these policies are for first read. Any questions? Okay. The next item on the agenda, item C, is the Board of Education meeting schedule, and we've made a revision to this schedule to change the organizational meeting date to Monday, December the 2nd at 4 o'clock to align with our policy. Any questions on those changes? Okay, if there are no questions, then I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Candy Tilley for item D.
Good evening again. Tonight I present to you a quote from B&M Electrical Contractors for $75,190. That is to light up our signs. If you've noticed, we've got our signs. They're installed at all of our locations, and they have started work on some of our locations. That project, like the first 5, was paid through ESSER funding. This money will come from technology capital outlay money, but that's what the quote is for tonight, is to light up the remaining signs. So I think Heather's goal is to, when we return from break, everything be ready to go. If there's any technical questions about this, Heather's here and willing to help answer.
I have a question.
Okay.
I don't think it's technical. Maybe it's not technical. Is there a plan to light these signs up in such a way? Is there a plan? Are we going to like have a flip the switch? Is there going to be a celebration? They just going to cut on?
Our fearless leader will answer that.
Well, the cool thing about the signs is we have the ability to do all of those things from just the mere push of a button in one location. So short answer is yes. So when we get ready to sort of unveil the signs, we're going to work with Mel, Martine, and Cole Twyford to have some social media lead up to it, and then really promote the signs. We've not promoted them heavily on our social media accounts now, even though they're installed, because they've not been lit. So just like the playgrounds and just like our parking lots, once we have them fully functional and have some landscaping around them and have them fully presentable, then we're going to make a big public awareness campaign of it. But you will be able, I was driving here recently down the country road, and some of these signs now are so, they have so much screenage and display that you almost are just tempted to just sort of stare at them. And so we have the capability to be as dramatic or less dramatic as we would like to be. Yes.
That's good to know. Thank you. Okay, so we need a motion to approve item C and item D, as A and B are just first reads.
I make a motion to approve item C, Board of Education meeting schedule revisions, and item D, marquee electrical connection quote as presented.
I'll second that.
Ms. Warden, I'll put you got Ms. Warden, okay. So we have a motion and a second. Can we see a positive vote by show of hands? Let the record reflect the vote was unanimous. And any other information for the good of the cause? If not, I need a motion to adjourn. Can I get a second? Okay, we have a motion by Dr. Williams and a second from Ms. Bogues to adjourn. Can I see a positive vote with a show of hands? Let the record reflect that that is a unanimous vote. And the November meeting of the Board of Education is adjourned.